Well, Remy Ma's had one hell of a career, and it's still going, okay? I mean, she came out with her first album, what was it, around 2005-ish, around then? She was with Terror Squad before then. They came out with a Terror Squad album. They had Lean Back, a bunch of records back then. And then she caught a case, and she went to jail, okay? And this is where, this isn't how Nicki came up, but while she was gone, Nicki Minaj came up, a couple other female rappers came up, and Remy did like 7 years in jail. She got out a few years ago, like what was 2015 she got out of jail, and it was iffy when she first came out, right? Like people didn't know if she could come back. Let's break this down and see how Shether kind of put a kink in her coming up again. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. Okay, so Remy Ma, she came out, and then Fat Joe and her got to working again, and that's magic right there. They came out with All the Way Up, a couple other records. They came out with a whole album. Remy Ma was back with hit records. But this is where she made a few mistakes. She dissed Nicki Minaj. I don't know which one came first, but she dissed Nicki Minaj on Shether. She had been baiting Nicki Minaj on multiple records. She had like a feature with Wait a Minute. Was it the Wait a Minute remix? She dissed him there. She dissed him on a couple Funk Flex freestyles. And then Nicki took the bait and dissed her on a song with, was it Jason Derulo, I think, and Gucci Mane. Then Shether dropped, okay? Shether was a great diss. You couldn't really respond to it. Nicki kind of responded to it, but didn't fully respond to it because it was a good diss record. The follow-up record was not good, the back-to-back, but it was a good diss record. It didn't ruin Nicki's career or anything, but it was a good diss record, okay? Here's the problem, though. After this, the problem is the diss record, and then her next move, she signed to Capitol Records, right? Who doesn't really have too many acts right now, but also, why wouldn't you stay with Fat Joe, who is figured out the indie game? You guys had multiple hit records, indie. And Fat Joe had to respect her choice to go with Capitol. When Fat Joe has the same thing that Capitol has, he knows how to get it on the radio. He knows how to do this. He knows how to do that. You don't need to sign your masters over and do a deal with Capitol, or have them in charge of what's going on. Fat Joe is in charge of his career, and he showed Remy, but Remy, you can show people, but they don't always take your advice, and she went with Capitol. So now when Remy comes up with rap, on Capitol, she came out with a Lil' Kim record, and then she came out with a record with Chris Brown, Melanin Magic. They both didn't do that well. They didn't perform that well, and now you're not hearing anything. I know she's pregnant now, but even up until this point. And plus, the Love and Hip Hop. She's doing a lot. I'm not saying she's washed. I'm just saying I think her career is changing. I don't think it's going to be her being a top rapper right now. I think it's going to be more her being a personality. She's on that show with Joe. It's pretty good. It's not her fault. It's Joe trying to do the same thing he did at Complex, and it's okay. But, she's doing that. She's doing the Love and Hip Hop, and, I'm sure she has some other things she's working on, but anytime her name's brought up now, you're going to talk about Shether. It's almost like what happened to Mobb Deep for a while when they had that beef with Jay-Z. All Prodigy, rest in peace, my bro Prodigy. He got a little too obsessed with Jay-Z for a while, dissing him on every record, until he could let that go and move on with his career. So I think. I'm not saying Remy did diss Nicki, take little shots on the song with Lil' Kim and the song with Chris Brown. Little shots, not big ones. But I don't think she's completely obsessed with it. But that's what people remember now. And sometimes that's the danger of going into the diss territory. And that's why Fat Joe said, I recommended she didn't do it, but she can do whatever she wants. I said, don't do it because your career is going so well. You just got 7 years of jail. You're back on top. And now you're going to go for Nicki. I would say don't do it. Just let it go. And he was probably right. But, she'll be fine no matter what. But I just thought that was interesting. Anyways, guys, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and I'll check you guys later.